So now we're back to regular scheduling programming. And now we're on new this new wave or new kick, this new understanding of self. Watch this. Cause I'm gonna break down what it means to make an atonement. You see, we think that in the Bible, they teach you to make an atonement for your sins, and you make an atonement. You make things right. You bring things back to right. Right. You bring it back right. So you make things right. You got to make an atonement for that. So when you do somebody wrong, you have to make an atonement for that. You have to go and hey, I'm sorry, I apologize, but here's a gift. Here's a peace offering. You understand what I'm saying? Here's a peace offering. So you're making an atonement. And so what we do is, in the Bible, what it teaches is us to make an atonement for our sins is we make a peace offering to God, and we say, God, I'm sorry. I give you the best of myself. And from therefore thereon, I will go on to be a better version of myself. But when we're talking about making an atonement, we're not asking, and we're not asking some God to come on down, come on in, and make it right within me. No, 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 no. We make an atonement for ourselves when we forgive ourselves. Now, it's not about forgiving others, because one thing you cannot do to make an atonement with your unrighteous deeds, things you did somebody wrong, or things you did wrong, and you just and it's got you feeling this sense of guilt. One thing we do, or one thing that we must do when it comes to unrighteous deeds is we make an atonement. We bring it back. What do? We bring it back together. We bring it back at one. And so, as my master teacher was telling me, at one meant atonement. If you break the word down into syllables, you will see at one meant to be at one. So that opened my mind up. That gave me a new awareness. That gave me a whole new sense of, it really enlightened me. I was like, man, this thing has enlightened my mind, because everything is meant to be at one. I am meant to be at one with God. So when I make an atonement with God, I can hear it now differently, because my master teacher showed me and broke it down to me. So now I can see it differently, and because when he told me that, I was able to now see it differently, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. So we are meant to be at one, atonement at one meant. And then you take the T out, at one men. Men are to be at one with each other. Not just men, but man. We're to be at one with each other. And so I look at one meant to be at one. And so now I don't have to. Now, as I said in a proverb, I spoke about my 11th proverb is self-retribution. I don't have to go and seek revenge for somebody that did me wrong deeds. I don't have to go and be anger or harvest bitterness within me. The best self-retribution, the best retribution one can get is to fight back, to take your mind back out of the hands, and your heart back out of the hands of the one who got you feeling angry. And this is how you make an atonement for your sin. This is how you make an atonement for your wrongdoing. You may have triggered something in that person that caused them to be angry with you, and then you want to seek retribution for that. But you say, no, you know what? Whether it was my fault, my bad deeds, or his bad deeds, or whoever, I'm going to make an atonement. I'm going to become at one men. I'm going to become at one men at one, at one meant to be at one. So I'm going to become at one with myself. I'm going to get back in tune. I'm going to become back one with myself, one with all that I am, which is God. And so, therefore, you don't have to seek revenge and retribution. And another thing, also, retribution could be looked at as you don't have to go and make a payment for what you did wrong. You understand? Like, retribution is also like making a payment. I need some retribution. You know what I'm saying? But I need some retribution. So it's almost like You seeking retribution could be like you taking revenge out, or you can be paying retribution to someone. You know what I'm saying? You can be giving someone money, and that's a form of retribution. And so I don't have to apologize. I don't have to say I'm sorry to anyone I've did my wrong deeds to, because one thing is the deeds are done. The wrong deeds are done. So I cannot take back what I did. Les Brown said that once you make a mark, you can't once you do something and, to someone, once you make that mark, you can't take that out. Once you stick that in, once you make that mark, you can't take that out. You know what I mean? Like once you make an indent, once you make a dent, you know what I'm saying? That your car can be get a dent in it. You could take that dent out, but it doesn't. But the fact still remains that car's been dented. You get what I'm saying? And so you can take the dent out, but you can never take the fact away. You can never take away the fact that the car has been dented. And that is the same thing with you. And so when you are committing wrongful deeds, you can say I'm sorry. But what good does I'm sorry make really do? What good does I'm sorry, I apologize? What does it really do to the other person you're apologizing to? You understand? The debt is still there. It's something that they'll never forget. It's something that they'll always remember. Even if they say, let's move past it, it's still there. You can't take that back. They can bring it up anytime they want to and use it against you when they're ready. And so it doesn't matter. And so who do you make an atonement to? I don't need to go to you and confess my wrongdoings to you. Hey, I'm sorry for what I did. I apologize for what I did. I need to be back at peace with you. And saying I'm sorry could start the process of that. But if I come to you and say, what I could say this to you, I could come to you and say, hey, I'm sorry, and that be it. I'm sorry for the wrong deeds I did to you. But I could just say, I'm sorry, and that be it. Or I can say, hey, I was wrong. I was wrong for how I treated you. I was wrong for the things I said to you. I was wrong and it hurt me. See, it must hurt the person who's doing the deed rather than me saying, I'm sorry I hurt you. It hurt me that I said those things to you. And you thus feel more compassion for me. You would feel empathy for me because you would then see the sincerity in the hurt that really attacked me. You would really see the sincere hurt inside of me. And so therefore you can feel my apology and I don't even have to say I'm sorry. I don't have to say to you, I'm sorry. I have to make an atonement with myself. I need to be back at one with me. I don't have to come to you and say I'm sorry. I can say I'm sorry and that be it. And you feel good. But the dent's still there. Or I can never say the word I'm sorry, but I come to you and I say, hey, I was wrong. It hurt me that I said those things. I never thought I'd be that kind of person to say anything like that. I never thought I'd be that kind of person to, be here standing here admitting that that I would do something like that. But I did, and it hurt me for doing that. And I must be able to, and I have to live with that. And I have to really go somewhere and truly ask for forgiveness of myself. Now, how much better does that sound? How much better to you did that feel? Felt better, didn't it? Because then you get to see with compassionate eyes, you get to see with sympathetic eyes, you get to feel the sympathy of the pain I'm going through. Wow. And I don't have to utter the words, I'm sorry. But I show you how I need to make an atonement with myself. I need to be back at one with myself because I wasn't at one and I did those things, said those things, there was a disturbance in the flow. There was unsettling and there was a disruption in my peace. But I hurt because I disturbed the flow within me, the love that genuinely resides within me, the peace that belongs within me because God is peace. And how can I be God and I don't have peace? And for me to say something to hurt you shows you that there is no peace inside, and God has left. God not being somebody, but the consciousness that I call on every single day. Every single day I call on the consciousness of God. And I'm supposed to get up and make an atonement every day. Meaning what? Every sunrise I get up, I should be making an atonement with God. I should be coming together at one with God. So that I call on God early when I get up before I start my day. God is there. The peace of God is there. The centeredness of God is there. The residence of God is there. And therefore, when I come out, you can see, feel, and know God, because God is love. And when I speak, it's God. See, God don't speak for me. I speak for God. So when I speak, the words of God need to be coming out. The words of God need to be spoken, because the words of God is love. The words of God is peace. The word of God is gentleness. So I speak with gentleness. I speak with love and peace. And then that showers you, and that resides over your mind frame, your consciousness, and you're able to live in peace with me, because that's what it means to be at one. Because I come and be at one with God, I can set the tone. Atonement. Atone. I set a tone. So now I set a tone for the day. And what is the tone? A vibration. Something you can feel. Tone is a vibration. So I set the tone of something that you can feel. Giving them something she can feel. You understand? To let her know my love is real. Huh? I got to give you something you can feel. I got to set the tone. You feel that. Giving you something you can feel to let you know my love is real. You need to be feeling that. It doesn't come with words. It comes with a vibration. It comes with setting a tone. And how do you set a tone? When you make a tone meant with God. When you become at one with God. God becomes at one with men. So we are meant to be at one. Me and you are meant to be at one. Unity, never disruption. Always together. We shall always be at one. Our minds shall think alike. Our hearts shall be in sync. Whether I'm leading an army or I'm leading one, we should have an in sync heart and mind. And so now I get up and I set a tone, a vibration, something you can feel. So I have to make an atonement with God to be at one with you. Make an atonement with God so that I set a tone and be at one with you. Did you just hear what I just said? I said make an atonement with God so I can set a tone to be at one with you. So now words are vibration. Words are everything. Pay attention to them. If you look at them and you break them down, as my teacher was able to show me, but I am so eloquently and articulately well spoken, I can really break it down even further, because that's what I do. I'm a communicator, a wordsmith, but more so a communicator. I can see the language inside the word. I can see the language inside the word, and I'm able to communicate that. That's what I'm good at. Seeing the language inside the word, and I communicate the language. So now when you see the word atonement, you know for yourself now, I must be at one with myself, with God, but I got to set a tone for the day. You got to set a tone for the day to be at one with yourself and God, or God will not come in. God doesn't come into a being who hasn't set a tone of peace. So that's why I say you don't have to seek retribution once you make an atonement. You make an atonement for what you did to yourself. Don't apologize. Don't apologize. Just make an atonement and do what I also just displayed. Make me feel compassionate. Make me feel compassion for you, for the wrong for the guilt that's killing you, for the wrong deeds that's killing you. telling me I'm sorry, but guess what? The dent is still there. You can take the dent out, but it's still there. And I can always bring that back up. But if I know how much that hurts you, when you speak about it, I will never bring it and throw it in your face because I know how much it hurts you. So I won't use it against you. You see what I'm saying? But if you tell me I'm sorry, the dent is still there. Guess what? If you are only just sorry, and guess what? If I get mad at you, I can bring that back up in your face. But you got to make me feel compassion for you. And you got to display to me the pain you feel for the wrong deed. And therefore, I can feel compassion and say, I'll never use that against her. Why? Because I can see the pain it caused her. I would never use that against you. Because I can see the pain it caused. I won't do that. It caused her much pain. It made her hurt. That hurt her. And I felt the hurt that's in her. So now, therefore, I won't use that. That's that's how you make an atonement. And set a tone. Guess what? You set a tone. You set a vibration. That kind of a incident shall never happen again. You're setting a tone. That kind of incident shall never happen again, and I will never bring it up. So you set a tone. We forget about that, and I will never pull that back up and bring it in your face because we made amends, but you made an atonement with yourself and God. So don't apologize. I can tell you all the things, the wrong deeds I've done you. And I could just say I'm sorry and I can leave it at that. But I don't want to just say I'm sorry. And I won't say I'm sorry. So when we make an atonement, I must make an atonement. And that's what I will do. I will make an atonement. I will become back at one, meant to be at one. I will make it right so that we can be at one again. I will set a tone so that we can be at one again. Because we're meant to be at one. So I will just come back and set an atonement. So whatever wrong deed, I don't have to go and ask God for forgiveness. I make an atonement. God, what I did was wrong and it hurt. So I would make an atonement. If I wrong you, I would say I made a mistake. Or again, there are no mistakes. There are only mistakes, right? But I would come to you and I would say, what I did was wrong and it hurt me. And the things I said, I never thought I'd be able to say those kinds of words to somebody ever. Because what I want in me to reside in me is the peace of God. And I love God within me so much. All I want is the peace of God. And I don't like the way my peace was disturbed. Therefore, I would never use words like that again to disturb the peace of God within me. And all you will see and feel and hear from me is nothing but God, words of love. I will always display and emanate and bring that forth in this in our communication with each other. Like, I will never do that again. And you're like, I appreciate you. I thank you for grabbing that understanding of yourself. You understand? And so that's how you make an atonement. Don't get retribution. Don't make a retribution. Be at one with yourself and God within. God comes in to a being that is at peace. God is not in disturbance. God is not in the disturbance because God is in the calmness, remember? God is in the center of peace and calmness. God is not in the disturbance. God is in the center of peace and calmness. So whenever the peace is disturbed in you, you need to bring God back in. You can't always be God 24 hours a day because, God is not in disturbance. God is in peace. So get God back and make peace with yourself. Make an atonement with yourself. Bring God back in. Because God don't leave you. You leave God. God is always here. God is everywhere. God is always here. And God is always everywhere. God never leaves. We have to enter back into the state of God. It is our duty to enter into God. That's how God enters into us. God embodies us when we embody God. And we embody God by effectively choosing the words we use. Speak. say. Once we effectively do that, you, it's undeniable that God will ever leave you. You do that effectively, consciously, it'll be undeniable that God is within you. Why? Because you will be displaying the peace and the love of God, and that's what God is, peace and love. Therefore, healing takes place. Why do I say I am a master healer? Is it because I take medicine or something like that? No. Is it because nature? No. It's because I talked about earlier being an endogenous being versus an indigenous being. I'm not indigenous to the land and an environment without out here, outside of myself. I am an endogenous being. I create the environment from within. So that's why I'm a master healer. Because I've created an environment of peace within myself. I am at peace with who I am, where my life is going. That's how I heal my mind. I'm not plagued with stress. I'm not plagued with depression. I'm not plagued with anxiety. I do worry, but I come right back to center. I do tend to think, but I get rid of it, come back to center. Because God cannot be a God of disturbance. And thinking can disturb the peace. Thinking can disturb the peace. So I get rid of thinking. And what do? I go into other things where I don't have to use my thinking capacity. I read. That's why I'm a big reader. Because I don't have to use my thinking capacity. My mind is gone when I'm reading. I'm not reading with a thinking mind. I'm reading with a focused mind. And so, boom, I'm at a state of peace. Because the thinking part of me is gone. That's why I read a lot. You understand? That's why I do other things a lot. Things that take the mind off of these things, the thinking mind. But we got to be conscious of everything. So I love God. I love who God is in me. I love the way God treats me. I love the way I treat me because that's God. You understand? And God will never again. I'm done. But I need this to be said that an endogenous being who creates that environment from within, that's called the master healer. When you manifest your environment from within, it shows up on in your reality, in your natural world. And so my environment from within surrounds me. And therefore, in my natural world, I'm unbothered, unstressed, undepressed. That's called a master healer. When you decided to say, I want the peace of God in my life. That's how one heals themselves. When you decide to be at peace with everything. I'm at peace with everything. Nothing can disturb me. Take my kids away, it's not gonna bother me. I love them, and I will do my best to see them. I will put in every effort I can to see them, but it's not going to bother me. You made that decision to take them away from me. It's not gonna bother me. It's not gonna disturb the peace inside. I'll love them, and I'm gonna love them from close, from far, wherever I gotta love them from. Wherever I gotta love them from, I'm gonna love them, and I'm gonna give them the best of me. You can take my job from me. That's not gonna bother me. My my income, take my income away. So what? You feel me? This is God. Always. Peace. I am.